They will vote on November 8th.
Mr.
They
Bannon,
will hang on. They will vote. Hang on. They will notice
your silence.
They will know.
Anything you want to say to them?
Can I go ahead and finish? Can I? Thanks. All right, on November 8th. On November 8th. The American people were ready to judge.
Steve Bannon couldn't get a word in edgewise, just part of the circus outside federal court today in D.C. after former Trump advisor Steve Bannon got a 4-month jail sentence for defying a congressional subpoena. Bannon remains a cause day celeb in the MAGA movement and now takes martyrdom status for refusing to cooperate with the January 6th committee. And to be fair, he could have just taken the Fifth Amendment and moved on, but instead decided to force the issue. So Congress referred the case to the DOJ, and they were only too happy to prosecute. Chris Hahn's here, host of the Aggressive Progressive podcast. I'm going to play a soundbite from MSNBC describing Steve Bannon, and then we'll talk about it. Take a listen.
No, it matters. Look, he's a consummate jackass, and he acted contemptuously all the way through. But I agree with Jim. He'll eventually do time, but he caught a major break from the judge.
Okay, let's just stipulate to the beginning of that sentence as it relates to Steve Bannon. Reasonable people can agree. And he may even embrace that description of himself. But first time somebody's been sentenced to jail in 50 years for contempt of Congress. Lots of people defy congressional subpoenas. Is there a danger here in the celebration that's going on the left that the shoe's going to be on the other foot potentially after November 8th?
Well, if people tend on ignoring law and order, they should be concerned about it. I mean, I paid $80,000 for a piece of paper behind me. And one of the things I learned in law school is you always show up when you're subpoenaed. Now, Congress should have probably invoked their inherent subpoena power and dragged them in themselves. And then he could have taken the Fifth Amendment instead of going through this circus with the DOJ. But Congress hasn't been willing to do that in over a generation. And I don't expect any Congress in the future being willing to do that.
Right. But I think about Eric Holder during Fast and Furious, who defied congressional Republicans. I think about the promise of congressional Republicans to investigate Hunter Biden, Merrick Garland, Anthony Fauci, Lloyd Austin, Alejandro Mayorkas over a lot of things. How is this going to work if they defy congressional subpoenas or members of the administration refuse to turn over documents to Congress?
Look, the former attorney general negotiated with Congress and eventually appeared and satisfied their subpoena, right? And ultimately, you can have a back and forth when you're subpoenaed if you're, in that position, but you can't just blanketly say, I'm not going to come, screw you, which is what he was saying. And quite frankly, it shows a blatant disrespect for the Congress. And again,
right, but do we really believe Hunter Biden is going to show up? And if he's not, Merrick Garland's going to charge him with a crime? We know what's going to happen.
Look, Hillary Clinton showed up. If Hunter Biden is subpoenaed, he might go to court to try to quash the subpoena, which is his right. But if he doesn't succeed, he will show up or he will face similar consequences, which is quite frankly, look, I might not like who's in charge of Congress, but they do have the authority given to them by the people of this nation to subpoena me to come testify before them. And if I'm Hunter Biden or an attorney general of the United States or anybody else, I will go. Yes, that doesn't mean you can't fight it and utilize the rule of law to do that. But once those things are done, you need to show up. And ultimately, you will need to show up.
Okay, we just think about this from the media spectacle of it. Nothing better has happened to Steve Bannon in the past 4 years since he was fired by Donald Trump, okay, than being subpoenaed and defying it and now being in everybody's headspace and all the free publicity he's gotten. Why does the left revel in sort of giving Steve Bannon this enormous platform in martyrdom?
I think he makes the perfect bogeyman, if you pardon my pun here. I mean, that's what he is. He's the perfect bad guy. Look, the guy should be in jail right now for the fraud he did on his own followers on that Build the Wall campaign. And but for Donald Trump pardoning him, he'd probably be in jail for that. So, I mean, look, Steve Bannon has been the bane of the left. I think it's a big character act. I don't believe he believes half of this stuff.
Well, yeah,
he's over the top. He comes from Hollywood. Let's all be clear.
No,
I mean, he made his money from Seinfeld.
Steve Bannon's had 9 lives, and he's through 6 or 7 of them politically. Hey, Chris, it's good to see you as always. Keep the faith with the Yankees, my friend.
It's going to be look. It better be a good night tomorrow night. That's all I have to say. I'm going to be there. Come on, guys. Come on, Judge. Right. I want to see 2.
There we go. All right.
Thanks.
We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.